Jake Morrison sat in his chair at the communications desk, talking to himself as usual. The mining ship Starlight Pioneer was quiet today, floating through space while the crew worked. Jake liked the quiet times because he could fill them with his voice. "Computer shows all green lights today," he said to no one in particular. "That's good news. Yesterday we had that red light on Sector 7, remember?" "Well, nobody else remembers, because I was the only one who saw it, but I fixed it anyway." Captain Lisa Grant walked past him and shook her head. She was used to Jake's constant talking after 3 years of working together. Sometimes she wondered how he managed to breathe between all his words. "Jake, can you check the long-range sensors?" she asked. "Already did, Captain. Checked them twice, actually. First time at 0800. Second time at 0830. Nothing out there, but rocks and stars. Oh, and that really bright star that isn't actually a star, but probably a distant planet. I've been watching it for 2 hours now. It's getting bigger." Lisa stopped walking. "Getting bigger?" "Yeah, much bigger. Actually, now that I think about it, it might not be a planet at all. It's moving too fast. Could be a ship. A really big ship. Should I be worried?" "Because I'm starting to be worried." Lisa ran to the main screen. Jake was right. Something large was moving toward them at incredible speed. It was definitely a ship, and it was definitely not human. "Tony, get to the engine room now," Lisa shouted to their engineer. "Amy, plot us a course out of here." Amy. Parker, their navigator, was already working at her station. "I'm trying, Captain, but that ship is fast, really fast." Jake kept talking through all the excitement. "You know, this is exactly like that old movie with the aliens. What was it called? The one where the aliens show up and everyone panics?" "Oh, right. There are about 50 movies like that. This could be good aliens, though. Maybe they just want to be friends. Maybe they collect stamps or something." The alien ship appeared on their screen. It was 3 times bigger than their mining vessel and looked like it was made of dark metal. Strange symbols covered its surface, and it had no lights anywhere. "That doesn't look friendly," Tony said over the radio from the engine room. "How can you tell?" Jake asked. "Maybe they just have different ideas about decorating. Some people like bright colors. Some people like dark colors. I personally prefer blue, but that's just me." The alien ship moved closer without making any sound. Then it did something that made everyone on the bridge freeze. A voice came through their speakers, but it wasn't speaking any human language. "That's definitely not English," Jake said, "or Spanish, or French. I know a little French from school. Bonjour, comment allez-vous? That means hello. How are you? Maybe I should try to talk to them." "Jake, don't touch anything," Lisa warned, but Jake was already reaching for the communication controls. "Hello there, alien friends. This is Jake Morrison from the mining ship Starlight Pioneer. We're from Earth. That's a planet with lots of water and trees and about 8 billion people who talk way too much. Well, maybe not 8 billion, but at least one who talks too much, and that's me." The alien voice came again, louder this time. It didn't sound happy. "I don't think they understand English," Amy said. "Maybe they understand mathematics," Jake suggested. "Or music. I could sing something. Do you think aliens like country music? Or maybe rock? I know this great song about space travel." Before anyone could stop him, Jake started singing. His voice filled the bridge and went out over the radio to the alien ship. He sang about rockets and stars and the loneliness of space that the alien ship stopped moving. For a moment, everything was quiet except for Jake singing. Then the ship moved again, but this time it was coming straight at them. Fast. "They're not stopping," Amy said, her voice shaking. Lisa grabbed the emergency controls. "Everyone hold. On This is going to be rough. The alien ship hit them with some kind of energy beam. Jake felt a strange tingling in his head, like someone was trying to push thoughts into his brain. Around him, his friends started falling down. First Amy, then Tony's voice went quiet over the radio. Even Captain Lisa fell to the floor. Jake looked around at his unconscious friends. The tingling in his head was getting stronger, but he was still awake. He was still thinking clearly. Well, this is interesting, he said to himself. Everyone else is taking a nap, but I'm still here. Maybe I'm immune to whatever they're doing. That's either really good or really bad. Probably bad. Usually when I'm the only one left awake, something weird is about to happen. The alien ship attached itself to theirs with a loud clang. Jake heard footsteps in the corridors, but they didn't sound like human footsteps. They sounded heavier, and there were more of them. I guess this is where the aliens come aboard, Jake said. I should probably be scared, but I'm mostly curious. What do they look like? Are they tall? Short? Green? Do they have tentacles? I hope they have tentacles. That would be cool. The door to the bridge opened with a hiss. 3 figures walked in, and Jake's mouth fell open. They were tall, much taller than humans, and covered in what looked like black armor. Their faces were hidden behind helmets that reflected light like mirrors. Wow, Jake said. You guys look amazing. That armor must be really expensive. Is it real metal? It looks real. And those helmets are so shiny. Do you polish them, or do they just naturally shine like that? The aliens looked at each other then. At Jake, they seemed confused that he was still talking. I'm Jake, by the way, he continued. Jake Morrison. I'm the communications officer on this ship. These are my friends, but they seem to be sleeping right now. Are they okay? Because they're usually not this quiet. Well, actually, they're usually much quieter than me, but this is really quiet, even for them. One of the aliens stepped forward and pointed a device at Jake. The same tingling feeling got stronger, but Jake kept talking. Is that supposed to make me sleepy? Because it's not working very well. I've always been resistant to things like that. Medicine, alcohol, even coffee. Doesn't affect me much. My mom says I have a weird brain. She's probably right. The aliens looked at each other again. Jake could tell they were having some kind of conversation, but he couldn't hear anything. Are you talking to each other telepathically? He asked. That's so cool. I wish I could do that. It would make my job so much easier. I could just think at people instead of talking all the time. Though I guess I'd probably still talk anyway. I like talking. The lead alien made a gesture, and the other 2 moved toward Jake. He kept talking as they approached. Are you taking me somewhere? Because I should probably mention that I get spacesick sometimes. Not often, but sometimes. Especially if there's a lot of spinning involved. I really don't like spinning. The aliens grabbed his arms, but they were gentle about it. Jake was surprised by how careful they were. Thank you for being so polite, he said as they led him off the bridge. A lot of people don't bother with good manners these days. It's nice to meet aliens who still care about being civilized. As they walked through the corridors of his ship, Jake kept talking. He told them about the mining operation, about his friends, about Earth, and about how excited he was to meet real aliens. The aliens never said a word. Jake found himself in a small room with metal walls and no windows. The aliens had brought him to their ship, and now he was alone. The room was completely silent, except for the soft hum of machinery somewhere in the walls. Well, this is cozy, Jake said to himself. Not much to look at, but it's clean. I appreciate cleanliness. My apartment back on Earth was never this clean. I should probably clean it more often, but I'm usually too busy talking to people to do much cleaning. He sat down on what looked like a bench built into the wall. It was surprisingly comfortable. "This isn't too bad," he continued. "I mean, it's not a hotel room, but it's not terrible either. The lighting is good, not too bright, not too dark. And the temperature is just right. You guys really know how to make a comfortable prison cell." Jake started exploring the small space. He found a small panel in the wall that might have been a control of some kind, and another panel that looked like it might dispense food or water. "I wonder if this is like a hotel room service button," he said, pressing it. Nothing happened. Or maybe it's an emergency button. I probably shouldn't press emergency buttons. That would be rude. He sat back down and looked around the room again. Most people would have been scared or worried, but Jake just kept talking. "You know, this is actually kind of exciting. I'm the first human to be inside an alien spaceship. At least, I think I am. Maybe other humans have been here before, but I doubt it. This feels like a first-time experience. I should remember everything so I can tell people about it later." Hours passed. Jake talked about everything he could think of. He described his childhood, his job, his friends, his favorite foods, and his opinions about movies. He sang songs and told jokes to himself. He even tried to teach himself some alien language by making up words. "Maybe you guys speak in clicks," he said, making clicking sounds with his tongue. "Click, click, click. That means hello. Click, click. Click, click. That means my name is Jake. Click, 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 click. That means I'm happy to meet you." The door to his cell opened with a soft hiss. Jake looked up to see a tall alien figure standing in the doorway. This one was different from the others. Instead of armor, it wore a dark robe, and its helmet was more elaborate. "Oh, hello there," Jake said cheerfully. "Are you here to visit me? That's very nice. I was just talking to myself, but I'd much rather talk to you. Are you the captain? You look like you might be the captain. You have that important look about you." The alien stepped into the room. Jake could see his own reflection in its helmet, but he couldn't see the alien's face. "I'm Jake Morrison," he said, standing up. "I already told the other guys, but I figured I should introduce myself again. It's good manners. My mom always taught me to be polite to strangers, even if they're aliens who kidnap me." The alien tilted its head slightly, like it was listening carefully. "Can you understand me?" Jake asked. "I've been hoping you guys speak English, but I know that's probably not realistic. English is hard enough for humans to learn, and we invented it. Well, we didn't really invent it. It just kind of happened over time. Languages are weird like that." The alien made a sound. It was very quiet, like a whisper, but Jake heard it clearly. "Was that a word?" Jake asked excitedly. "Did you just say something? That's amazing. I knew you guys could talk. I mean, all intelligent species can communicate somehow. You probably have a really complex language with lots of subtle meanings and cultural references." The alien made another sound, slightly different from the first one. "I wish I could understand you," Jake said. "Maybe you could teach me. I'm pretty good at learning languages. I know some Spanish from school, and I picked up a little French from watching movies. How hard could alien language be?" The alien stepped closer and pointed a small device at Jake. Jake felt that same tingling sensation in his head again, but stronger this time. "Are you trying to read my mind?" he asked. "Because that's really interesting. I've always wondered what it would be like to have someone read my mind. Fair warning, though, there's a lot of random stuff in there. I think about weird things sometimes, like why hot dogs come in packages of 10, but hot dog buns come in packages of 8. That's never made sense to me." The tingling got stronger. Jake felt like something was trying to push into his thoughts, but it couldn't quite get through. "Is it not working?" he asked. "Maybe I'm just weird. People always tell me I'm weird." My brain works differently than most people's. I've always been like that. Even when I was a kid, I was the one asking too many questions and talking too much. The alien made a frustrated sound and tried again with the device. This time Jake felt like his head was full of buzzing bees, but he still kept talking. "You know, this is probably really important for your people," he said. "Meeting humans for the first time, I mean. This is like first contact. This is history being made. People will write books about this someday. Maybe movies. I hope they get a good actor to play me. Someone who can talk fast." The alien stepped back and made several quick sounds. Jake thought it might be calling for help. "Are you frustrated?" Jake asked. "I get frustrated sometimes too. Usually when I'm trying to explain something and people don't understand. But that's okay. Communication is hard. Even between humans, it's hard sometimes. Between different species, it must be almost impossible." 2 more aliens came into the room. They were wearing different robes, and one of them carried what looked like a more complex device. "Oh, you brought friends," Jake said. "That's great. I like meeting new people. Are you doctors? Scientists? You look like you might be scientists." "I always wanted to be a scientist when I was a kid, but I talked too much in class, and my teacher said I would never be able to concentrate long enough." The new alien with the device approached Jake. This device was bigger and had more lights on it. "Is that a better mind reader?" Jake asked, because the first one didn't seem to work very well. "Maybe you need to calibrate it for humans. We might be different from other species you've met. We're probably more talkative, for one thing." The alien activated the device. Jake felt like his entire head was vibrating, but he somehow managed to keep talking. "This is really intense," he said. "I can feel it trying to get into my thoughts, but it's like there's a wall or something. Maybe it's because I never stop thinking about things. My brain is always active, always processing, always talking, even when I'm not talking out loud." The aliens looked at each other and made more sounds. Jake thought they sounded frustrated. "Are you having a conference about me?" he asked. "That's flattering. I've never been important enough for a conference before. What are you discussing? Are you trying to figure out why your machines don't work on me?" "Because I'd be happy to help. I love solving problems." One of the aliens made a long, complex sound. It almost sounded like it was asking a question. "I wish I knew what you were saying," Jake said. "But I can tell you're intelligent. Really intelligent. Your technology is amazing. This ship, these devices, even this room. Everything is so advanced. You must have been traveling in space for a long time. Thousands of years, maybe. Humans have only been in space for about 100 years, and we're still pretty bad at it." The aliens tried their devices on Jake for another hour. Nothing worked. Jake kept talking the entire time, describing everything he felt and thought and observed. He told them about human technology, human culture, human history, and human dreams. Finally, the aliens gave up and left. Jake was alone again, but he didn't mind. "Well, that was interesting," he said to the empty room. "I think I confused them. They probably expected me to be scared or quiet or something. But I'm not scared. I'm excited. This is the most interesting thing that's ever happened to me." He sat back down on the bench and continued talking to himself. Outside his cell, he could hear the aliens moving around and making sounds. He thought they sounded agitated. "I wonder if they're having a meeting about me," he said. "I hope I'm not causing too much trouble. I don't mean to be difficult. I just can't help talking. It's who I am." Jake had been in the alien prison for 3 days now, and he was still talking. He had told himself his entire life story twice, sung every song he could remember, and started making up new songs about being in space. "Day 3 of my alien adventure," he announced to his empty cell. still having a great time. The food is weird, but not bad. Tastes like chicken, like purple. I didn't know chicken could be purple. Maybe it's not chicken at all. Maybe it's some kind of alien bird. Do you guys even have birds? I hope you have birds. Birds are great. Outside his cell, Jake could hear more noise than usual. Footsteps, voices, and what sounded like arguing. The aliens were definitely upset about something. Sounds like you're having a rough day out there, Jake called through the door. Is everything okay? Do you need help with anything? I'm pretty good at solving problems. Back on Earth, I was the go-to guy for fixing communication equipment. I could probably help with other things too. The door opened, and a young alien walked in. This one was smaller than the others, and wore a simpler uniform. Jake could tell immediately that this alien was different. Oh, hello there, Jake said, warmly. You're new. I haven't seen you before. Are you here to visit me? That's very nice. I was just talking to myself, but I'd much rather talk to you. What's your name? Do you have names? I'm Jake. The young alien stood by the door, looking nervous. Jake could see his reflection in its helmet, but something about its posture seemed curious rather than threatening. You look young, Jake said. Are you young? I mean, I don't know how alien aging works, but you seem less serious than the others. The other aliens are very serious. They never smile. Do you smile? Can you smile? I'd love to see an alien smile. The young alien took a step closer. Jake noticed that it was listening carefully to everything he said. Are you learning English? Jake asked excitedly. Because I could teach you. I'm not a professional teacher, but I know English pretty well. I've been speaking it my whole life. Well, not my whole life. Babies don't speak English. But most of my life? The alien made a soft sound, almost like it was trying to copy Jake's voice. Was that an attempt at speaking? Jake asked. That's fantastic. You're trying to learn. I knew you were smart. All of you are smart. You have to be smart too. Build spaceships and travel between stars. Humans are just starting to do that, and we're not very good at it yet. The alien made another sound, this one closer to an actual word. Jake, it said, very quietly and with a strange accent. Jake's face lit up with joy. Yes, that's my name. You said my name. That's incredible. You're learning English. This is the best day I've had since I got here. The alien seemed pleased with Jake's reaction. It tried again. Jake ... human. That's right, Jake said, clapping his hands. I'm Jake, and I'm human. You're learning so fast. What's your name? Can you tell me your name? The alien pointed to itself and made a sound that Jake couldn't quite repeat. It sounded like Zixlin, but with extra clicks and whistles. That's a beautiful name, Jake said. I'm going to call you Zix, if that's okay. Is that okay? I don't want to be rude. Names are important. They're how we identify ourselves to other people. Zix nodded, which surprised Jake. He hadn't expected aliens to understand human gestures. You understand nodding, Jake said. That's amazing. Do you have the same gestures we do? What about this? He waved his hand. This means hello or goodbye. And this, he gave a thumbs up, means good or okay. Zix tried to copy the gestures. His movements were awkward, but Jake could tell he was trying. You're doing great, Jake encouraged. Learning a new language is hard. Learning a new species language must be even harder. But you're doing it. You're actually communicating with a human. That's historic. Over the next few hours, Jake taught Zix basic English words. He pointed to things in the room and said their names. He demonstrated actions and emotions. Zix was a fast learner, and soon they were having simple conversations. Why ... talk, always? Zix asked, struggling with the words. "That's a great question," Jake said. "I talk a lot because I think a lot. My brain is always active, always processing information. When I think about things, I like to say them out loud. It helps me understand them better. Also, I like connecting with people. Talking is how humans connect." Zix looked confused. "Connect?" "It means to form a bond," Jake explained. "To become friends. To understand each other. When humans talk to each other, we share ideas and feelings. We learn about each other. We stop being strangers and start being friends." "Friends," Zix repeated. Slowly, "Yes, friends, like us. We're becoming friends right now. I like you, Zix. You're curious and kind. You came here to learn about me, and you're willing to try new things. Those are the qualities of a good friend." Zix was quiet for a moment, processing this information. Then he asked, "Other humans?" "Like you? Some are," Jake said. "Some humans talk a lot like me. Others are quieter. But all humans like to communicate. We're social creatures. We need to interact with each other to be happy. Being alone and quiet makes us sad." This seemed to surprise Zix. "Alone? Bad? For humans, yes. We like to be together. We like to share our thoughts and feelings. We like to help each other and learn from each other. Even when we're by ourselves, we usually think about other people." Zix looked around the empty cell. "You alone happy." "Well, I'm not completely alone," Jake said. "I have you to talk to now. And even when I was by myself, I was talking to myself. I was imagining conversations with my friends. I was thinking about all the things I wanted to tell them when I saw them again." "Your friends where?" "They're still on my ship," Jake said. "At least, I hope they are. Lisa, Tony, and Amy. They're my crew. We work together, and we take care of each other. I miss them. I hope they're okay." Zix nodded slowly. "I got understand. Do you have friends, Zix?" Jake asked. Zix was quiet for a long time. Finally, he said, "Not like this. We do not connect." "What do you mean?" "We work. We follow orders. We do not talk. Like this. We do not share dots." Jake felt sad for Zix. "That sounds lonely." "Lonely? It means being sad because you're alone. Even when you're with other people, you can feel lonely if you can't connect with them." Zix considered this. "Yes, I think I am lonely." "Well, you're not lonely right now," Jake said. "You have me, and I have you. We're friends and friends. Don't let each other be lonely." Over the following days, Zix visited Jake regularly. Each time, his English got better, and their conversations became more complex. Jake learned that Zix was young for his species, and that he had always been curious about other worlds and other people. He had never been allowed to ask questions or express his curiosity before. "My people do not ask questions," Zix explained. "We follow orders. We do what we are told. Questions are not allowed." "But you're asking questions now," Jake pointed out. "Yes, because of you. You ask questions about everything. You make me think. Maybe questions are good." Jake smiled. "Questions are very good. They help us learn and grow. Without questions, we stay the same forever." "I do not want to stay the same," Zix said. "I want to learn. I want to understand." "That's wonderful," Jake said. "You're already changing. You're becoming more than you were before. That's what growth is." But their friendship was causing problems. Jake could hear more arguing outside his cell. The voices were getting louder and more agitated. Other aliens were talking, where before there had been only silence. "Are you in trouble for talking to me?" Jake asked Zix during one of his visits. Zix looked uncomfortable. Some are angry. They say you make me different. They say I ask too many questions now. Are you in danger? I do not know. This has never happened before. No one has ever changed like this. Jake felt worried for his friend. Maybe you should stop visiting me. I don't want you to get in trouble. No, Zix said firmly. I like talking to you. I like learning. I like being your friend. I will not stop. But what if they punish you? Then I will accept punishment. But I will not go back to being silent and lonely. You have shown me something better. Jake realized that his constant talking was doing more than just annoying his captors. It was changing them. Through Zix, he was introducing new ideas to an entire species. The concept of friendship, of asking questions, of expressing curiosity. These were revolutionary ideas in their society. Zix, Jake said carefully. What would happen if other members of your species started acting like you? Started asking questions and wanting to learn? Zix thought about this. I think everything would change. Everything would be different. Would that be good or bad? For me, it would be good. But for the leaders, I think it would be very bad. They like things the way they are. They like control. They like silence. Jake understood now. He wasn't just a prisoner. He was accidentally starting a revolution. And it was all because he couldn't stop talking. Jake woke up to the sound of chaos. Instead of the usual quiet hum of the ship, he could hear voices everywhere. Not just one or two aliens talking, but dozens of them. Some sounded angry, others sounded confused, and a few sounded excited. Well, this is new, Jake said to himself, sitting up on his bench. Sounds like everyone's having a big discussion out there. I wonder what they're talking about. Probably me. I seem to be causing quite a stir. The voices got louder. Jake could make out individual conversations now, even though he couldn't understand the alien language. But the tone was clear. Some were arguing, others were asking questions, and everyone seemed upset about something. I hope Zix is okay, Jake said, genuinely worried about his friend. He's been visiting me every day, and yesterday he seemed nervous. I hope he's not in trouble because of me. The door to his cell opened, but instead of Zix, 3 older aliens in elaborate robes entered. Jake could tell these were important aliens, leaders of some kind. Their robes were decorated with symbols, and they moved with authority. Hello there, Jake said politely. You must be the bosses. I'm Jake Morrison. I've been hoping to meet you. I have a lot of questions about your species and your culture. Are you here to talk? Because I love talking. The lead alien stepped forward and activated a device that looked more advanced than anything Jake had seen before. This time, when the tingling started in his head, Jake felt something different. Instead of trying to read his thoughts, the device seemed to be translating. Human, the alien said, and Jake could understand the words perfectly. You have caused great disruption to our order. Oh, translation device, Jake said excitedly. That's amazing. I've been wanting to have a real conversation with you guys. This is so much better than trying to learn each other's languages, though I've been enjoying teaching English to Zix. He's a quick learner. The alien's posture stiffened. You speak of Zixlin. He has been contaminated by your influence. Contaminated? Jake asked, confused. That's not a very nice way to put it. He's been learning and growing. He's become curious about the world around him. He's developed his own thoughts and opinions. I'd call that improvement, not contamination. He questions orders, another alien said. He asks for explanations. He expresses preferences. This is not acceptable behavior. Why not? Jake asked. What's wrong with asking questions? Questions help us understand things better. They help us learn and improve. Without questions, How do you know if you're doing the right thing? The aliens looked at each other. Even through their helmets, Jake could sense their discomfort. We do not question, the lead alien said. We follow the established order. We maintain stability. We preserve tradition. But how do you know your traditions are good? Jake asked. How do you know your order is the best way to do things? Maybe there are better ways. Maybe you could be happier or more successful if you tried something different. Change brings chaos, the alien replied. We have seen this. When individuals begin to question, society breaks down. Order is lost. We cannot allow this. Jake looked around his cell, then back at the aliens. Is that what's happening out there? Are people questioning things? Yes, the alien said, sounding frustrated. Since your arrival, many have begun to speak when they should be silent. They ask questions when they should obey. They express desires when they should accept their assigned roles. That doesn't sound like chaos to me, Jake said. That sounds like people waking up. That sounds like individuals discovering that they have their own thoughts and feelings and rights. Rights? The alien seemed confused by the word. Yes, rights. Things that every intelligent being deserves. The right to think for themselves. The right to ask questions. The right to express their opinions. The right to choose their own path in life. The aliens were quiet for a moment. Then the lead alien spoke again. These concepts are dangerous. They destroy the unity of our society. Maybe your society needs to be destroyed, Jake said gently. Maybe it's time for something better. Something that allows people to be individuals, while still working together. Impossible, the alien said. Without strict order, there is only chaos. That's not true, Jake said. Humans have individual rights, but we still work together. We still have societies and governments and rules. We just make sure those rules serve the people, not the other way around. How can this be? Another alien asked. How can individuals make choices and still maintain order? Jake smiled. This was the first time one of the leaders had asked him a genuine question instead of just making statements. Well, he said, we talk to each other. We discuss problems and solutions. We vote on important decisions. We compromise and find ways to balance different needs and wants. Sometimes we disagree, but we work it out through communication. Communication, the alien repeated. Yes, like we're doing right now. We're sharing ideas and trying to understand each other. This is how humans solve problems and make decisions. We talk about things. The door opened again, and Zix entered. He looked nervous, but determined. You were ordered not to come here, the lead alien said to Zix. I know, Zix replied. But I wanted to make sure Jake was safe. He is my friend. Friend, the lead alien repeated, as if the word was foreign. Yes, Zix said. Jake taught me about friendship, about caring for others, about wanting to help and protect people you care about. I care about Jake. Jake felt proud of Zix. His friend was standing up for what he believed in, even when it was dangerous. This is exactly what I mean, Jake said to the leaders. Zix is still part of your society, but he's also thinking for himself. He's making his own choices. He's not causing chaos. He's just being a more complete person. But he disobeyed orders, the lead alien said. Sometimes disobeying bad orders is the right thing to do, Jake replied. What if the order is wrong? What if following it would hurt someone? Shouldn't people have the right to refuse to do harm? The aliens were quiet again. Jake could tell they were thinking about what he'd said. You present ... interesting ideas, the lead alien admitted. But they are too dangerous. They would destroy everything we have built. Maybe it's time to build something better, Jake suggested. Something that makes people happier and more fulfilled. Something that allows everyone to reach their full potential. Full potential? The third alien asked. Yes, Jake said. Look at Zix. A week ago, he was just following orders without thinking. Now he's learning, growing, asking questions, making friends. He's becoming more than he was before. Don't you think that's better? The aliens looked at Zix, who stood straighter and spoke clearly. I am happier now, he said. Before, I felt empty inside. I did my work, but I did not understand why. I did not care about anything. Now I have purpose. I have curiosity. I have friendship. I feel ... alive. You see? Jake said. Zix isn't broken or contaminated. He's improved. He's still capable of doing his job. But now he understands why it matters. He's not just a machine following commands. He's a thinking being who chooses to contribute to his society. The lead alien was silent for a long time. Finally, he spoke. What you describe, it is not how things have ever been done. That doesn't mean it's wrong, Jake said. Just because something is traditional doesn't mean it's the best way. Humans used to do lots of things differently than we do now. We used to have kings who ruled over everyone without question. We used to think some people were more valuable than others. We changed those things because we realized they were wrong. But the chaos during those changes. Yes, change can be messy, Jake admitted, but the end result is worth it. People are happier, more creative, more productive when they have freedom and rights. Societies become stronger, not weaker. Suddenly, the ship's alarm system activated. Red lights flashed, and a voice spoke over the communication system in the alien language. The three leaders looked alarmed. What is happening? The lead alien demanded. Zix listened to the announcement and translated for Jake. The detention levels are in disorder. Prisoners from many species are talking to each other. They are asking questions about why they are imprisoned. Some are refusing to remain silent. Jake felt a mixture of pride and concern. Is anyone being hurt? No, Zix said after listening to more announcements. But the guards do not know what to do. This has never happened before. Always. Prisoners become silent and obedient after a few days. Now they are ... communicating. The lead alien pointed at Jake. This is your doing, not directly, Jake said. I've been in this cell the whole time. But if other prisoners are talking, it's because they heard me talking. They realized that silence isn't the only option. They remembered that they have voices and thoughts and rights. They are demanding to know the charges against them, Zix continued, translating more announcements. They are asking for legal representation. They are requesting communication with their home worlds. Those are all reasonable requests, Jake said. In human society, those are basic rights. Everyone deserves to know why they're being held and to have someone speak for them. The lead alien looked overwhelmed. We do not have procedures for this. We do not know how to respond to such demands. Maybe you should start by listening to them, Jake suggested. Find out what they want and why they want it. Maybe some of their requests are reasonable. Maybe some of them shouldn't be prisoner. Jake walked through the alien ship's corridors for the first time since his capture. The hallways were filled with activity. Aliens running back and forth, speaking in urgent tones, and looking generally confused. It was very different from the silent, orderly ship he had imagined. Wow, this place is really something, Jake said, looking around as they walked. The architecture is amazing. Those curved walls must be incredibly strong. And the lighting system is so smooth and even. Your engineers are really talented. Even in the middle of a crisis, Jake couldn't help but admire the alien technology and express his thoughts about it. They reached the detention level, and Jake could hear voices immediately. Lots of voices, speaking in different languages, all talking at once. It sounded like a busy marketplace rather than a prison. This is definitely different from when I arrived, Jake observed. Much more lively. Much more human-like, actually. Well, not human exactly, but you know what I mean. More like how intelligent beings should sound when they're together. The lead alien, who had introduced himself as Commander Kixthol, looked overwhelmed by the noise. This is chaos, he said. This is conversation, Jake corrected gently. This is communication. This is what happens when people are allowed to express themselves. They approached the first cell, which held a tall, blue-skinned creature with 4 arms. The moment the prisoner saw Jake, it started speaking rapidly in a language Jake didn't recognize. What is it saying? Jake asked Zix. Zix listened carefully. He says he knows you are the one who started this. He thanks you for giving him courage to speak. He says he's been silent for 30 days, but today he remembered he has a voice. Jake smiled and waved at the prisoner. Tell him I'm glad he found his voice again. Tell him that everyone deserves to be heard. As they moved from cell to cell, Jake discovered that there were prisoners from 12 different species. Some had been there for months, others for years. All of them had been silent and obedient until they heard Jake talking and realized they didn't have to accept their situation without question. This one is interesting, Zix said as they approached a cell containing a small, furry creature with large eyes. She was captured for allegedly stealing food, but she says she was only gathering fruit from trees that grew wild. No one owned the trees. That doesn't sound like stealing to me, Jake said. That sounds like survival. Commander Kixthul looked uncomfortable. Our laws state that any resources within our sphere of influence belong to us. But did you tell anyone about these laws? Jake asked. Did you post signs or send out announcements? How was she supposed to know? The commander was quiet. You see the problem? Jake continued. You're punishing people for breaking laws they didn't know existed. That's not justice. That's just using your power to control others. They continued. Through the detention area, Jake spoke with each prisoner, learning their stories and helping translate their concerns to the alien leaders. Many of the prisoners had been captured for minor infractions or misunderstandings. Some had been imprisoned simply for being in the wrong place at the wrong time. This is a bigger problem than I thought, Jake said to Commander Kixthol. Most of these people shouldn't be here at all. They're not criminals. They're just members of other species who happen to encounter your people at an unfortunate moment. But we cannot simply release them, the commander said. What would that say about our authority? It would say that you're just and fair, Jake replied. It would say that you care more about doing the right thing than about looking powerful. Trust me, people respect leaders who admit their mistakes and try to fix them. As they talked, more aliens gathered around them. Guards, officers, and crew members who had never seen prisoners speaking freely or leaders listening to complaints. They watched with fascination and concern as Jake facilitated discussions between the prisoners and their captors. Many of your own people are interested in these conversations, Jake pointed out. Look at them. They're curious. They want to understand what's happening. Commander Kixthul looked around and saw that Jake was right. Dozens of his crew members were watching and listening, some even asking questions of their own. This is unprecedented. The commander said, Yes, it is, Jake agreed. This is the beginning of something new, something better. One of the alien officers approached the commander and spoke quietly. Zix translated for Jake. He says that 3 more ships have arrived. They are requesting permission to communicate with the prisoners. Word of what is happening here has spread to other vessels in the fleet. Commander Kixthul looked panicked. This is getting out of control. No, Jake said calmly. This is getting better. Your people are interested in justice and communication. They want to be part of building something better. That's good news. But the High Command will not approve of these changes. Then maybe it's time to talk to the High Command, Jake suggested. Maybe it's time to show them that there's a better way to do things. Over the next few hours, Jake helped organize discussions between the prisoners and their captors. He taught both sides how to listen to each other, how to express their concerns clearly, and how to work together to find solutions. Many of the prisoners were released immediately when it became clear that their crimes were actually misunderstandings or overly harsh interpretations of vague laws. Others were given the opportunity to make restitution for actual wrongs they had committed. A few were kept in custody, but now they knew exactly what they were charged with and were given the chance to defend themselves. "This is remarkable," said one of the alien officers who had been watching the proceedings. "I have never seen prisoners and guards working together to solve problems." "That's because you've never given them the chance," Jake said. "Most people, regardless of species, want to do the right thing. They just need to understand what that is and have the opportunity to do it." As the day progressed, Jake found himself in an even more surprising situation. He was asked to help resolve disputes between different alien crew members. It seemed that once the idea of open communication took hold, it spread throughout the ship. "This is fascinating," Jake said to Zix as they walked to another meeting. "Your people are natural problem solvers. They just needed permission to express their ideas and concerns." "I never realized how many problems we had," Zix replied. "We just accepted them because we were not allowed to complain. Now that we can talk about them, we can fix them." By the end of the day, the alien ship was a completely different place. Instead of silent corridors and rigid hierarchy, there was discussion and collaboration. Problems that had existed for years were being solved in hours because people could finally talk about them openly. Commander Kickstill approached Jake as evening fell. "I must report these events to the High Command," he said. "I do not know how they will react." "Tell them the truth," Jake advised. "Tell them that your ship is running more efficiently than ever before. Tell them that problems are being solved instead of ignored. Tell them that your crew is more motivated and productive. And if they order me to return things to the way they were?" Jake thought about this carefully. "Then you'll have to decide whether you want to serve a system that makes people miserable or help build a system that makes people thrive. That's a choice only you can make." The commander nodded slowly. "You have given us much to think about." 3 days later, Jake was reunited with his crew. Lisa, Tony, and Amy were amazed to find him not only unharmed, but somehow having become an unofficial diplomat between humans and aliens. "Jake," Lisa said, shaking her head in amazement, "only you could get captured by aliens and end up revolutionizing their entire society." "I didn't mean to," Jake said sheepishly. "I just couldn't." "Stop talking." "And thank goodness for that," Amy added. "Because of your talking, we're not prisoners anymore. We're guests." The alien ship had indeed been transformed. The High Command, after hearing Commander Kickstill's reports about increased efficiency and improved morale, had decided to implement similar communication policies throughout their fleet. They wanted to learn more about human diplomatic and social techniques. Jake found himself appointed as the first human-alien cultural exchange coordinator. His job was exactly what he had always done naturally: talk to people, ask questions, and help solve problems through communication. "I can't believe they're paying me to do what I've been doing my whole life," Jake said to his friends as they prepared to return to Earth with their alien escorts. "You finally found your calling," Tony laughed, professional talker. As their ship prepared to depart for Earth, Zix approached Jake one last time. "Thank you," Zix said, his English now much improved. "You taught me that I could be more than just a follower of orders. You taught me that I could think and feel and choose for myself. You taught yourself those things, Jake replied. I just showed you that it was possible. You did all the hard work of changing and growing. Will I see you again? Zix asked. Definitely. Jake said, I'll be back in a few months to help set up the new communication protocols, and I expect you to help me. After all, you're the expert on your own people. As Jake's ship pulled away from the alien vessel, he looked back at the lights and activity visible through its windows. Instead of the dark, silent ship that had captured him, it was now bright,